Many leaders from many nations in Christian counseling with one goal, a bolder vision for Christian counseling worldwide. In early January 2009, 19 people from 12 different countries and from 5 different continents met with each other to share their vision on how to reach hurting people in their regions. It was more than just sharing their experiences, however, that they learned will make a difference. After meeting many of the poor and hurting families being helped by Armonia Ministries, who hosted this first-of-its-kind meeting, they realized that it is in their relationships that there is power as members of the body of Christ. It is through building a network of organized and committed servants that a world of change is possible. And it is through breaking down the barriers of culture to see that there are different needs to be met in unique ways that real pain will be met by true healing.
Hi, my name is Brad Smith. I'm coordinator of the Lausanne Care and Counsel as Mission Interest Group, which is a new interest group within the Lausanne movement. This was really the launching of a new movement that involves the coming together of two movements that have been going on throughout the world. One is the movement of Christian counseling. With that Christian counseling movement is also the Lausanne movement, and is probably best known for producing the Lausanne Covenant, the whole church taking the whole gospel to the whole world. Over the past few years, we realized that it seemed like Christian counselors had not been fully engaged in the idea that they could have a role in taking the whole gospel to the whole world. In the past, much of Christian counseling had been focused on helping missionaries and humanitarian workers. In addition, Christian counselors have been involved in helping those who are hurting in the church. But we felt that God was leading us to a greater vision. This was not a group that sat together around a large conference table, but we interacted and we prayed and we studied and we discussed how we could be involved in the mission of taking the whole gospel to the whole world. In addition, we also realized that it's important that we go beyond our old models of Christian counseling being one-on-one discussion with a person in a room, but that we think how we can move out beyond our counseling rooms and move into the neighborhood of the poor. And I think that you'll be able to catch the excitement and the newness of this vision as you listen to the reports coming forth.
My name is Gladys Mwiti. I'm a clinical psychologist living in Nairobi, Kenya. The whole call of the church to care and counsel really excites me. Each one of us as the body of Christ has a gift for the building of the church. The whole church, the whole gospel to the whole world has to involve healing. The sadness and the whole tragedy has been that there has been a separation through the years between the sacred and what people call the secular. We have split the human being into pieces, bits and pieces. That is, the medical doctor does his physical thing. The psychiatrist does his mental thing. The psychologist does his behavioral thing. And then the pastor does the preaching. And that's not the model that Christ set for us. Christ set for us an integrated, holistic model. So the excitement of Mexico City is that these people have sat down here for 1 week and we have asked ourselves the question, how can the Church of Christ be involved in the healing and in the integration of healing ministries? Over the years, as a psychologist, my heartbeat has been that the church needs to get involved in the brokenness of the people. Take, for example, the case of HIV and AIDS. It found the church totally asleep to the layers of grief and loss that have impacted the continent. And so my other excitement is that the Care and Counsel as Mission Advisory Group is going to help the church to awaken to the realities not of me getting blessed every day, but me going out on mission to bring healing to the people.
My name is Saul Cruz, and I'm a psychologist. but I'm also happen to be the co-director of a Christian ministry named Harmonia. The challenge has to do with understanding problems that go from relationships to gender issues to war, or from chromosomes to problems that have to do with the use of technology. Never in history the church had to face such a big challenge, such a hard challenge as today. And because of that, we need to focus in the whole gospel. We need to understand that in the gospel we have the answer for all these questions, but it needs to be the whole gospel.
I took my first class in counseling 50 years ago when I first started college, and I got very much interested in how the whole field of care and counsel can impact not only the church, but can impact the world. So a lot of my whole professional career has been trying to take my profession and making it relevant not only for the church, but for the whole cause of Christ more broadly. I'm excited about what happens with the counselors who work with missionaries and people who are involved in relief organizations and things like that. I've got many friends who work in counseling centers, and they work a lot with Christian clients. But the thing that has always interested me more is how we can use the gifts and the skills that God has given those of us in our profession, like other professions, to reach out and impact the world. When the tsunami went through Southeast Asia in 2004, there was a lot of counselors went rushing overseas, and yet they weren't culturally sensitive, and they had good intentions, but they weren't very helpful. But there were others who understood the culture, who worked with the people in the culture, who recognized that this was a phenomenal way to reach people with the love of Christ, even though we were there, the people who went were there, to give care, to give counsel, to give support, to give relief. This is an initiative that I think this Lausanne initiative on care and counseling is something that is long overdue. It's something that a few of us have worked on for years. And I'm excited as to what is developing, what we've done here in Mexico City, and what's going to happen now as God opens the eyes, I believe, of other people, of a special group here of international people, and showing us how we can take the skills and the gifts that God has given us in our caring fields and apply those to reach people for Christ who would not know Him otherwise.
As the Mexico City group reviewed the exciting dreams and plans that unfolded over their 3 days together, some important questions came up. How can this vision, this new paradigm, have a sustainable impact for what God is doing in the world? How can we share the Care and Counsel as mission concept with Christian leaders, practitioners, educators, and lay people? And most important of all, how can they see it in action, experience it, be immersed in it, and not simply learn about it in a classroom? The answer was, create an international institute, the International Institute of Care and Counsel as mission. Our dream is that by 2012, this dream will become a reality. Picture it. Each summer for a few weeks, community workers, mental health practitioners, pastors, lay people, theologians, anthropologists, and students representing the next generation gather together in a different corner of the world, places like Mexico City, Nairobi, Prague, Beijing, and Jerusalem as a part of a roving institute. Hosted at venues like Harmonia, the Institute will be a stimulating and powerful blend of hands-on experience and deep reflecting and study among a community of participants. Through the Institute, this new paradigm of transformation will impact the world of Christian mission for generations to come.